Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. Well, there's a sense in which we thought we'd continue our conversation yesterday, which, as you know, was the fight against corruption. That's a form of insecurity because corruption that's allowed to just run loose wildly. And there are people who said that it was their considered opinion. People phoning, yeah, they are guests, but callers calling in yesterday said that perhaps there's a sense in which we haven't done as much as we could do, that is from the point of view of commentators, on this fight against corruption. And there are aspects of it where people thought that maybe kid gloves, maybe the ground wasn't level, maybe the law doesn't apply equally to everybody. So we discussed that part of it. Now today, continuing the insecurity conversation from that point of view that I just explained, we're looking at the president's directive, or shall we say permission, that is given to the armed forces to, bring their might to bear against bandits marauding in the border areas of Kaduna, Niger, and Zamfara states. And the Air Force is preparing. In fact, it is reported that they've set up a refueling station in Minna. That shows you, how seriously these guys are ready for action. So it's that serious. Now the ground troops will be supported by the Air Force, and I don't know. Have I read too many American stories, war stories? Maybe targeted strikes might be the order of the day, if need be. No doubt the commanders will know exactly what to do. But that the president has ordered, according to our spokesman, presidential spokesman Garba Shehu, speaking on Sunday, that the president had given permission for this. It looks like the heat is now on. I want to discuss this. Our guest this morning, well, interestingly, Bishop Sunday Garba Yaji is actually president of the National Interfaith and Religious Organization for Peace. Good morning, Bishop. Thank you very much for coming on. And these bandits are not giving us peace. So I'm going to see if it is possible to even think in terms of peace with people who are not giving us peace. No doubt you'll explain that a bit. And Comrade Razak Olokoba is a rights activist, social commentator, and Secretary General of Odua Self-Determination Group. Thank you very much, Comrade, for coming on.
Thank you. Good morning, and good morning, viewers at home.
Indeed. So let me start with you, Bishop. I would have thought that, yeah, this is what we would have expected. We need to bear our fangs a bit because, look, we've been gentle, we've been thinking of our brothers, being our brother's keeper and all of that. But these considerations, privileges, or whatever, have been abused. They continue to come. The more we stand, the more they come. Now it's like we bring out the, shall we say, the long knives. First of all, give me your impression on this. It's a necessity, I would have thought. What do you think, sir?
Well, I looked at it from this point of view, that just like you said, we've tried. Our security personnel have tried the best they could do to see how, if these people could come to a round table and discuss with them, know what do they really want, what's their view.
Well, these are bandits. So
Yeah.
bandits, you don't negotiate with bandits, I would have thought. These are bandits, and but the concern of most, perhaps humanitarians, would be, look, when air power comes to bear, no matter how surgical they say it is, there will be collateral damage. And no doubt the president would have agonized about this, as I hear that presidents around the world agonize when they want to deploy such force. There is that aspect to it.
Yeah. I believe that the president must have made his research and before issuing the order. And of course, there will be collateral damages. But the issue there is that some places these bandits are areas that it's not easy to get there.
Okay.
So I think they needed the air troops.
Actually, it's the forests, I understand.
Yes.
The forests on the borders of Kaduna, Niger, and Zamfara states.
Yes, those are the places they hide. And they come out at a season to propagate or do whatever they want to do and run back there. So I think, and Mr. President, I think he owns the people of this nation one thing, that's security.
Exactly.
He pledged to protect the citizens of this nation. And I think in line with that is why he issues that command.
Because sometimes we need to deploy force to maintain peace.
Yes. And I think also with the military, we have I think they've made their research, and since the bandits are there in the forest, they only come out. So I think after their research, they will be able to see how we are to strike.
Yeah.
So that there will be no damages to innocent citizens.
Well, that's very unlikely to happen, sir. I don't know. I'm not a military man myself, but air strikes, they call them surgical strikes. But how to take out one bad guy and leave the neighbors that are not bad guys unscathed? That is the challenge. You know that we'll come back to it, sir. Comrade.
There are a whole lot of issues that has come to play in insecurity in Nigeria. Each region has its own peculiarity. The north, what is going on in the north is a low-scale war. So for what the president has done, I think it's in line. And we must bear in mind that security is not comfortable.
Because we've been restrained. Nigeria has been restrained.
Yes, for so long, our innocent lives have been lost. I have junior brothers that have died in those operations. I have friends that have died.
Military personnel.
The military personnel in those operations. That's pathetic. It's agonizing to look at someone and to look 2 weeks later, you saw the picture on Facebook that he's dead. He's killed by Boko Haram or one insurgent. So in the north, because of incursion, there might be incursion into the southern region if serious steps are not taken by Mr. President. So it's in line to do that. That's one. Two, the question of collateral damage, I don't think arises on this situation. I did a job in bringing Gwari to sink a borehole. And as a Nigerian, patriotic Nigerian, I didn't turn the job down because that's a dead zone. I went there, I visited it at the risk of my life because these are areas that you don't go there if you need your life. So, but because they need the facility, I had to do the job as a person. But that is, we are not paying sufficient attention to it. Okay. The road between Kaduna, from Kwara, Niger to Kayenda, Aziz, has been abandoned. A major road has been abandoned because of the bandits. So, the question of collateral damage does not arise here because it's isolated.
Okay.
I can't be a farmer and go and farm in Sambisa. I can't be a farmer and say that is the place that is fertile in the country that I want to go and set up my farm. So, what do I want to go and sell there? So, anybody that is found in that isolated axis is culpable. I watched a report today on the Takwa Bay demolition. And the army officer that came on board, Daji, he said that there's no household there that does not have up to 500 jerrycans. So all the houses have to go. So that means the question of innocent citizens does not arise. We are going to visit their civil society to know. But on this note too, the question of the damage is long overdue because this operation has been going on for years. So if you have anything at stake there, by now you are supposed to have located. So the president should go ahead with what he's doing. The only thing that is important is for Nigeria to rally around our army officers. See, what wins war is morale. Equipment is second. If your military man has a very high morale, even with pencil you can win war. But if they have dampened morale with the most sophisticated equipment in the war, you may lose that war if the morals of your people are dampened. So we need to boost the morale of the military men. No wrong tactical move. Because there are deliberate tactical moves by people who are collaborating within the forces. So by now I believe they have been flushed. So there should be no wrong tactical move that will put the life of people in danger. You should be surgical, like we have said.
Yes.
You can't say you want to go and bomb, God forbid. You can't say you want to go and bomb Maryland. You do mistake and bomb Ikeja. This is your job. No room for error. Because we are at a delicate period in our life where insecurity must be tackled by any means necessary.
Indeed.
So,
and you...
I came behind the president for
Indeed.
this approval. I queue behind him. I will support him. I will run advocacy in support of him. This thing must end. Left or right, lives that are lost, they are husbands of some people. They are fathers of some people. They are children of some people. We need the life of our boys intact. If you want to fight war against external aggression, let's fight war. But some people constitute themselves into aggression within Nigeria. Nigeria must rally around to wage aggression against them too. So they have my full support on this on this note. The president have my full support on it.
Indeed, and I would imagine that most Nigerians will feel that way. But those guys, the enemy, you know, they also they have access to news. They're hearing all of this, and we've heard in different territories, different theaters around the world. One is just hoping that the pattern doesn't continue where they now, as human shields, human, you know, that kind of a thing. Knowing full well, oh, is that what they're going to do now? Hopefully, you know, all of this, no doubt, would have been studied by the presidency and the military commanders. So you don't just go and bring civilians in there, keep them there, so as to prevent our people, you know, from doing their work. Yes. They're in there as opposed to. So these are the things. Even as we know that the president is probably now trying to address what he said when he came on board for his first term, that he was going to tackle vigorously the issue of security, national security, and corruption. I don't know which way around, whether it was corruption and security or security and corruption, those two evils. And we can see, we were talking yesterday, as I said, about the president, you know, being in the UK and saying to his counterpart over there, Mr. Boris Johnson, that, look, repatriate our suspects. Let's interrogate them. Now we come to this phase of the president's pledge to us when he first came, that his administration would do everything he could. Now, the question of, you know, the tactics of it all, because of the fear of losing innocent lives. It has been pointed out that they're in the forest, but as a comrade is saying that I queue behind the president 100%, would that be your attitude too? All men of goodwill have to queue behind the president on this one.
Yes, of course, you know, because
taking for granted the discipline of the Air Force and the efficiency of the Air Force.
Yes, just like he said, our military personnel are professionals, and I think they will act in that capacity to see what they could do. I believe also they have studied the whole atmosphere, and like he said, these people are living in the forest. They only come out to where innocent citizens are, do whatsoever they want to do, and run back to the forest and stay there. And of course, most of the citizens have moved from places where they are.
Yeah, but I imagine, I don't know for sure. Yeah. The Air Force guys with their special equipment, gadgetry, are able to see, and that's one of the main things about air support. They can be above there and see what the ground troops cannot see. And so this support that has been ordered now for the ground forces, I imagine, you know, it's going to be beneficial.
Yes,
they can probably see things from, you know, high altitudes. Tommy in Chomolu, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, God bless you for your program, and God bless for your audience there.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate your program so much, but I just want to contribute to the... Are you there?
We'd like you to. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just want to contribute to your program this morning. I like your effort, and I think God need to strengthen you to continue the program.
Amen, sir. And you?
Concerning this insecurity in Nigeria, this thing is getting worse.
And the airstrike in particular. I mean, sorry, airstrike, but I think the support, the air support now for the ground troops.
For that airstrike, actually, if you want to go and...
Oh, did I lose you, Tommy?
Hello?
Yeah. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Concerning about that airstrike, my particular concern there is that you want, like what my brother just said, that it's white. You should not say you want to strike maybe Keja, then go and strike for other side, that kind of thing, for innocent people to be involved on this. But look for other better way to see how we go about these things. So let this thing to be done in a very smooth way so people can live in peace and harmony together.
Yeah, but these areas in the forest, they're in the forest areas. We understand that they're the borders of, Zamfara, Kaduna, and Niger.
Okay.
So the forest areas, and we were just saying that no doubt the presidency would have organized before deploying such, let it be said, lethal force, because that is what it is. This is not something you come out of and they're treating you at one hospital or the other.
Anyway, I don't know much about those borders.
Yeah. But is your point that you are urging caution? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm buying caution. So innocent people will not go in vain into this.
Okay.
So that's why people are looking for you are going to harm them. Then at the end of the day, innocent people will go and be the team of this.
Okay. Yeah. But the order has been given, and the Air Force, we understand they've actually set up a refueling station in Minna, meaning that they're ready for business. They were just waiting for the word, and now they have the word, and they are professionals. They're going to swing into action. And so it's like game on. So if those people think that they can continue to diminish our lives, how can all of the territory is Nigeria? Now there are places that Nigerians. Comrade was saying that he just went to do a professional job, try and be professional. Ordinarily he would have kept away, but he went. And there are other instances where people have begun to designate certain areas of the country as no-go areas. Now this is intolerable.
Yeah. There are three things that President Laha should look into. One of it is internal collaboration within our armed forces.
Okay.
There are conventions that they have internal collaboration. President must do everything at his disposal to flush them out. That's number one. Number two, by now, we should have gotten the supply line of this insurgent. What's the supply line?
What's the supply line?
The border has been closed.
Yeah.
They still get... I saw a picture on social media, and is the kind of gun that Rambo is using to bring down a military barrack.
So what's the supply
how did they get it?
One moment, please. You'll continue, but Mr. George has come on. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Thank you, and greetings to the guests, too.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Uncle Yori, the decision the federal government has taken, as good as it is, underscores the need for outfits like Amotekun, such as we discussed previously. That for security situation, internal security situation to deteriorate to the level of using air force that we are supposed to be using for external defense to fight internal crime, it worries me, Uncle Yori, I must say. And one wonders how long this is going to be. Somebody has already cautioned, and I want to align with him. You remember there was a time the Air Force dropped a bomb inside an IDP camp by mistake. Several people died. And they were targeting Boko Haram bandits, and it now went into an IDP camp where more than 200 people died. That should be avoided. But what I am saying is that let us do first things first. The police is not well equipped, is not capable again to keep internal security. Why don't we reform the police and encourage more of Amotekuns to complement them so that we can tackle this internal security? Because for how long are we going to be bringing out the Air Force to come and be dealing with crooks within the system? I'm worried, I must say.
All right, then. Thank you.
you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. And that point, I didn't mention it specifically, but it's an important one. The Air Force rarely is used internally, but we have a unique situation. Complicity, all sorts of, all of that is going on. So that's why we talked about the surgical nature, and sort of we're supporting our boys in uniform. We imagine that it must have been an agonizing decision for the president, and the boys. Boys will probably know that this is a very, very important and delicate assignment.
Can I really make my point so that?
Sure.
So secondly is first internal collaboration. Second is supply line. The supply line, we must do something about it. Our neighbors are not fair to us, and I think Mr. President should weigh the big brother that Nigeria is in Africa. I'm not saying Chad is part of the collaboration. I'm not saying Niger. I'm not saying Cotonou. I'm not. But our neighbors are not supporting us in this fight. I learned that from international rumors that France is deliberately encouraging the French-speaking nations to make their borders porous for Nigeria, to weaken Nigeria. If that is so, the president should do something about that. Now, the third most dangerous one is the program of rehabilitating and bringing the insurgents into the force. That's a dangerous step. The president should stop that policy. That policy should not be encouraged at all. There's no how we are going to de-radicalize a radical.
And that's where Mr. George was speaking about.
It is impossible to de-radicalize completely a radical.
Amotekun or whatever other name
I'm
they are
a member of
called.
Amotekun.
Whatever other name they are called. And
Yes.
I think the point there is that intelligence.
Those were part of things that encouraged us to say that Amotekun should come on board.
Let me bring in Mr. Nikwede in Magodo. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Miss. How are you, sir?
Very well. Thank you very much for calling in, sir.
Yeah, your program is a very nice one.
You're very kind.
Hello. Hello.
Please continue, sir. We can hear you.
Your program is a nice one, but the problem with the federal government is that they are not being honest about all these bandits, all these people.
How is that? How is that? How do you think they're being dishonest?
They should form so many Amotekons within the country so that they can lead the security people into the bush. You know, like we are saying, airstrike, there could be mishap in the airstrike. So let us try as much as possible to make sure that, you know, this Amotekon, so many Amotekons are being formed in other parts of the country so that they can lead all these policemen to the to the bush. Because that is the only solution. All these putting bandits, putting Air Force, putting all these things. We are not being sincere. See? They should try as much as possible to create as so many Amotekons in other locations in the country. So that they can lead the police into the country.
All right.
Rather than having their side being supported by ground troops, being supported.
But sir, I just wanted to say that, Mr. Nikwede, I wanted to say that we need to be patriotic and support our president and our boys in uniform on assignments like this. So when you say not being sincere, maybe, you know, I was a bit
about Amotekun.
and then, you know, the Amotekun thing that you're talking about, I hear you. But even as we speak, the forces, the ground forces, they are coalitions. It's not, there's something similar to Amotekun. It might not be so called, but they have those kind of people too. Civilian JTFs and that kind of a thing. So I understand you, sir, but you see, on this kind of a conversation, I imagine that our first duty is that of patriotism and, you know, supporting our president and supporting the boys in uniform, even as we query it for a better understanding. But the sincerity part, sir, is what worried me a bit. We have to be a bit careful with our language when we're talking about national assignments like this, perhaps.
That's true. That's true. And just like he was saying, I believe strongly that our security personnel, they are working hand in hand with certain, like the civilian
in more informal groups.
Yes,
so the kind of things that Amotekun is being projected to be doing when the time comes.
Yes, who knows? Because those ones are on ground. Who knows the terrain? Like you go to Jos, we have the Operation Safe Haven. At the same time, we have Operation Rainbow. They've already been there. They are just like a civilian policing. They now help the military when they come in to help them, show them the terrain. Where are these people? Where are these things? Where are they coming from? And I think, just like my brother here said, is a right step in the right direction. This is a fight that has been going on for some time.
This is it. So for how
And-
long is this going to go on? The president made a pledge that I will tackle insecurity.
Yes.
We've tried the suffering approach, even though I don't know how suffering military men on the ground would be, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But by now we've turned up the stakes. Say, no, now we've had enough. We can't go on with all this nonsense for so long. Nigerians are now afraid to go to certain areas of their own country. And, but at the same time, one can understand what Mr. Onipede was saying, because Comrade had also voiced it first. Like, the problem with these kind of surgical strikes is that, you know, depends on how far away the enemy happens to be from what is it that they call
targets.
from civilian targets,
okay.
or
Prison.
or friendly, because we don't want any friendly fire problem.
Yes.
As you know, friendly fire is when you mistakenly hit your own people or hit people who are innocent. Mazi Okorafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sayoni. Good morning, Bishop. Sorry, good morning, my brother in the studio.
Good
morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. You see, Mr. Area and gentlemen in the studio, this airstrike the federal government has just ordered is a welcome development. Now, the question you ask yourself, in Nigeria today, in terms of fighting security is more than airstrike. The drones that the federal government acquired, what are they waiting for? What is the drone waiting for? Because you use drones first, allocate the position before you strike. You don't go and strike because you go and strike like what is it Yakuba just said some minutes ago. You go and strike, you strike wrongly. So that is why the federal government, we are just selling our knowledge to them, but they're supposed to pay us in terms of security. That's all these things we are giving them. Because the drones will go first and do the work first. Then the military now locate and strike immediately.
But
not a question when the drones go and locate it. Hello, sir.
Mazi, to be fair, I imagine our boys know that too well.
They can't disclose it.
Okay, you see, there's one thing about the imagine our boys know to see. The problem we have in Nigeria that everybody claims that it's a professor, is a doctor, is this. But when you come back to the right side, only few people that have the opportunity are known. Again, the military are ready to do the job. We have the facilities. But the question, Nana, they should bring in people that are conversant, that know exactly what we want to do the job.
Okay.
Not a question of man, no man, or this man is no. So I'm going to bring records. No.
But Mazi, you are saying this order of air support is a welcome development.
That is 100%. Because fighting terrorism is no longer a small boy issue or using catapult or knife or dagger. No. Now, hello? You see, we should use Trump pattern of fighting terrorism.
Okay.
Use President Trump of United States pattern of fighting terrorism. If we can adopt President Trump pattern of fighting terrorism, I bet you, with the strategies we have on ground, all those boys, they are just at what they call evil forest.
Okay.
Evil forest is in every way in all the states.
Okay.
People don't like to go there. That is why you see all these vagabonds sitting down there because nobody will come there to challenge them.
Okay.
The so-called evil forest. So what we should do now, the military should strike immediately. They don't need to waste time because this is 24 hours at assignment. They should execute everything within 1 week.
Okay.
So that how can some people just come and sit down in the forest, come back there, the terrorize people now create more problem. It's not acceptable as far as my own military ideology is concerned. They should strike immediately, make use of the drone. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Thank you, Mazi Okorafo in Arochukwu. I'll go on a quick break now. Stay with us, please. We'll come back and we'll continue the conversation. Okay, welcome back, and still in the studio with us, Bishop Sunday Garba Yaji, who is president of the National Interfaith and Religious Organization for Peace, and right next to him is Comrade Razako Lokoba, rights activist and social commentator. He's also Secretary General of Odua Self-Determination Group, and has just told us that he's a member of Amotekun, that is information, that is being informed. Now, the insurgency, the terrorism, the banditry, and all the other rubbish that's been going on. There are people commenting, in Nigeria, ordinary citizens, that, look, with the might of the Nigerian army, which I understand they will be deploying cautiously, we ought to have sorted this problem out and put them on the back foot. But every time we say we've made a success, we've made progress, they come back. They come back and show that, look at what they were saying, here we are. Now we've got to stop this once and for all, even though we're concerned that this is now proper lethal force. That
Just like Razak said when he was talking, we have saboteurs.
Aha. Among us.
Yes, among us.
Enemies within.
Yes, and because it's like these people are not spirit, they are human beings. And sometimes you discover that there are even some of our citizens who hate them because of things they are benefiting. Like he said now, how do they get their supply? How do they feed in those forests?
How do they get the fuel?
Aha.
How do they get? How do they replenish their ammunition?
Yes,
The bullets don't grow on trees.
that is true. So there must be certain people who are saboteuring the
They have
government.
vehicles.
You understand?
Yes, they will capture
and
some.
of course, at the same time, they have sponsors who, I was telling somebody, I said, I don't believe that the so-called name the bandits give to, themselves, because some of them hide in the name of religion.
No. I think it's largely established that
Yes.
Boko Haram can't call itself an Islamic movement.
Yes, it's not true.
All Muslims reject that whole notion.
It's not true. It's not true. They are criminals.
So they are, and
Yeah.
it's like they're fighting against not just the people of Nigeria, but this administration in particular, by making life unbearable.
Yeah.
With
The-
time and assets and resources that should be devoted to improving our lives, we have the distraction of having to deal with them. So it looks like in the presidency, the patients, they've had it up to here and are saying, look, thus far and no further. And one hopes, because as Mazi Okoroafo was saying, if they bring their power to bear, it seems to non-professionals like us that they could sort this matter out in a fortnight.
Yeah.
But there must be caution.
Yes. It has a global damage to the world economy. In Africa, or Nigeria alone, controls in its possession 1/5 of African economy. If Nigerian economy is not on its feet, African economy will also be in shambles. And that's why the rest of the world are looking up to Nigeria. You can't have this kind of situation and your economy will grow. And that's why people are paying attention to it.
And the
There's
other,
a need- there's a need
you
for us
said
to
something
move
else.
ahead.
Sorry, sir, for interrupting you. You said something else that, look, there might be expansionist tendencies. And look, in Lagos, in the southwest here, even though we're fighting this war in the northern area, in the northeast in particular, you wouldn't know it in Lagos.
Yeah.
And it could get people complacent. It could get people comfortable. And,
But there are reports that many people who escaped arrest and being killed, the best place they think they can come to is Lagos. So
Well, that's
there's a danger if we don't do things at the same at the right time. So what I'm saying is that Mr. President should not allow this matter to turn into polemics before he acts.
that's why
it's a debate.
Okoroafo said, with the order, if it is being issued,
It's a debate.
swing into action the following
It's a
day.
debate already now. We must not allow the insurgents to relocate. We must not allow them to disband and go and regroup somewhere
Which
again.
means we can't waste any time.
So we cannot wait again. If the president did not wait for this long before he does this, the nation will cry out that these are our children. Why will you go to the extreme to do this? So the sequence it gets to now is impressive and is encouraging that we do subtle method, we gravitate until we get to this one. So we should go all out for them.
Okay.
And also,
I beg your pardon. Ahmad has called in from Kaduna. Good morning, Mr. Ahmad.
Good morning, Uncle Yeri.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, you people are doing a very wonderful job there.
You're very kind, sir.
I just want to say something particularly about the air bombardment. The air bombardment is a welcome idea, and I mean, we welcome it. But where I have problem, Uncle Yori, is the issue of announcing our security move at all the time. When you have an enemy, and anytime you want to go and attack him, you let him know that you are coming. It's like you are telling him to run and hide. Then after the operation, they will come back and continue their operation. I actually don't understand why our government, is it political pressure or is it what that made them to always come out and announce their move before they will do it? And this thing is not helping us.
Okay.
It's not helping the security. Because if you announce it, the enemies there in the bush, they will either lay ambush to our troops or they will run away.
Or take preemptive measures. You know, look at the fear.
I think. Hello?
Thank you very much for calling in, sir. And your point is very well taken.
Don't let us underrate our military.
Yeah,
what they have done.
Wait, sir,
what they have done.
Wait, sir. The point. Can we address the point that he made?
Yeah. What they have done.
If we're going to take this kind of an action,
what they have done as a measure might be that they are impenetrable.
Yeah.
And with the announcement, we are not supposed to be seeing this on, but I know very well it might be a chess game that I'm coming. For them to disband, then catching on them, because as they regroup, the kind of manpower we will need to disband them will be so much that they need to scare them away to disband.
Okay, so now we're speculating.
Don't underrate
exactly
our guys, our military guys. They are working.
But I've heard this comment that was made by Mr. Ahmad here that, look, why do we tell the guys our moves? Why, if it were a game of chess, why do we tell them this is how we're going to move? Because
it's part of the game.
Well, unless you say it's part of the game. Yeah. Because we were expressing the fear that let them not go and take evasive action or other kind of action. We were saying that let them not take hostages.
It's part of the game so that they will not consolidate.
Yes, and I think also it's like to also reassure the citizens.
That is why he said, is it political pressure to show that you are doing something? Maybe he's thinking, well, it might be mine as well, is that why didn't you swing into action, and in the middle of the action then let us know that this is what is going on? This is because the president has the authority, and I'm no doubt he would have agreed with his commanders. So maybe thinking as a non-combatant professional, one might see it from the point of view of Mr.
Ahmad had been debated. The guy will have taken to his heels.
Sorry, is someone else on the line? Mr. Samuel in Apapa, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Samuel, are you there in Apapa? Samuel in Apapa, good morning, sir. Oh, I see. The network was troubling you. Okay, sorry about that. I just heard that the call dropped. So the point that Mr. Ahmad in, I think it was Kaduna, that he called in was, his problem is, why do you let them know? Is it political pressure? Why don't you just swing into action? We know you do right by us. What you're doing is for Nigeria's benefit. So you can tell us later on. But I'm sure diplomatic, military, political people, they know much more about this than us. Yes. But you see the point he made, you can see that.
Yes, it made a lot of sense. But because our guys have their own water too, where each issues are debated. And you see, we have gotten a lot of award. Our guys in foreign missions, when they come back, that they excel. And for me, for this that they have said, it's important at times to say this type of thing, to send certain signal as a part of their tactical move.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
So
no, propaganda is part of war.
So they will not disclose all these things to us.
Okay.
But the approval, the public approval Mr. President needs, maybe if that is what he's seeking for, he has gotten that public approval.
Okay.
I have not seen anybody that has opposed
that can be against it.
Yeah. Precision, surgical.
Okay. Mr. Abubakar in Kaduna, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you able to Ogayori?
Thank you very much for calling in, sir. We're great here.
Yes, sir. I want to comment on this federal government directive to at least bombard.
Well, air support. Air support. Air support.
Air support. Yes. You see, this order is in good order. And we are welcoming this order, and we are happy, especially we around Birnungwari area and also Kaduna. But this order is too late, because they have killed billions of land before this order is given. This order is supposed to be given for almost 1 or 1.5 years for airstrike to go and the military to go underground, so that If the Air Force is bombarding these bandits, the military on ground will also finish the remnant. And they should do it unanimously together for all the affected states, not just to do one state and allow the bandits to run to other states. Because as you are doing it, this news you are making now, they are hearing it, they are watching this TV because they are with us. Their supporters are together with us, they are in town, they have every gadget to hear any news. So they will instruct their people, this state will be taken over by a security agent, run to where there is no security, and they will run. So now, if they want to do it now, they should start from at least Zamfara, Sokoto, Kaduna, Niger. This is the base where these bandits are doing their business freely. They are taking millions of lives, kidnapping, killing, doing whatever they want to do. Nobody is doing anything to them. There was one time the people of this Marabajo even informed the military that these bandits are there in the bush. We will help you to carry you to these people. The military say they are not going there because they are not instructed to go. It was that very day they clear about 3 towns, bomb them, carry all their properties, all the people run away into primary school. So this thing is known to everybody. If they want to do it, they can do it. If they don't want to do it, I think this state policing will now take over. We know the people that are doing it, we will protect ourselves. If military cannot go, we believe they are strangers. These people have no identification mark, but we know them. So let army come out. Let us use our native people to fight these people. Stop wasting money. Simple.
All right, then.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abubakar, for calling in. You know, it's
interstate importation of Amateku.
but as Comrade Razak was saying earlier, he said, you know, that look, the fact that this was evolving, you know, from you know, let's take it easy. We will get this with regular, you know, because it was Mr. George, our first caller, who made the point that it's not usual for the Air Force to be deployed within a country, but this is not usual at all. This is not usual. These are not usual times. These are not usual times. So it is like, you call it an escalation where it's like enough is enough. That, you know, if this is what it takes, I'm sure, since I read that presidents agonize before giving that particular order, that they know will have its costs. But as Mr. Abubakar was saying in there,
Nigerians in that region are traumatized.
Yeah.
You need to be there to know this. You know, Benin Gwari is Fulani to Fulani. The attackers are Fulani. So it doesn't attract so much attention. And that's why I pity the people of that axis. It's not like Benue, where it is Fulani against the people of Benue, or like here that I say Fulani elders. There is the people who are coming to attack them are like their brothers. So it's become so agonizing that people want to say that, well, it's your people, so you have to do something. So it is time for them to start to live like Nigerians too, and to enjoy the peace we enjoy in the South Air, to feel the impact of what is freedom. In that axis, when we were growing up, you go to North and you want to live your life there.
Yeah, it was a peaceful
You go
time.
to East and you say that, if I want to marry, I'll come and marry an Igbo girl. Or you go to Ijoland, you say, these riverine people are nice people. But in the country today,
it seems to us to be an incongruous situation where our own Air Force is being deployed within our own country.
We need to take our nation back.
But with Mr. Abubakar, who
by
called
any
in
means
earlier,
necessary.
we have got to that level.
Yes,
we've got to that level of by any means necessary. We can't be drawing this on forever and ever. Mr. Akin in Ikorodu, good morning, sir. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Good morning, Uncle Yori Folani.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
I'm grateful, sir. I greet all the guests over there in the studio.
Good morning, Mr. Akin.
Good morning.
Sir, I am not against the Amotepu. But my fear is that the politicians will not
Amotekun,
take
sorry, sir.
advantage.
We're talking about the air support that has been recently ordered.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought you are out of the Amotekun issue.
No, we never. Maybe you didn't join us from the beginning. What brought about Amotekun was somebody suggesting that those other can assist. But the subject of conversation is the president having ordered air support now for our troops in the fight against banditry, and all of that around the Kaduna, Niger, Zamfara, borders.
Okay.
Is the deployment of the Air Force now I don't think the Air Force has been absent, but that it has been announced like this now shows that, we're not playing anymore. Nigeria is like saying that we're not playing anymore.
In full scale.
Yes, now it's going to full scale.
Thank you very much. I am fully in support. I'm fully in support of that. Let the airstrike continue. Though it's supposed to have been.
That is the point that was made by the last caller, that he thinks it's 18 months too late. That time when they were considering, they should have done it 1.5 years ago, was the point that he made. And then we would have been in a better place now, was his suggestion. And that's what we're looking at.
No, Mr. Yori. Mr. Yori.
Yes, sir. Please continue.
It's not too late.
Okay.
There's a time for everything. If you can remember, one time there's a strike that the people that are gathered in one place, all these what do they call them? Those ones that were displaced.
IDPs.
They mistakenly killed many of them that time. If you can remember. We don't want that to happen.
We don't want any friendly fire incident.
Of what Mr. President said at this moment, that they have to take caution.
Yeah. Okay.
Whenever they want to strike, they must make sure it was in the appropriate place they are going to strike. Don't kill our innocent people that we want to protect.
I think we can take that for granted. I mean, these are not amateurs. But thank you very much for calling in, sir. Appreciate your call. I think we can take that for granted.
The guiding principle in security and law is that it is better to leave a criminal to go scot-free rather than punishing by mistake. In being careful, you can leave someone rather than punishing someone who did not commit any offense. So that's the caution.
Yes,
and
the unfortunate incident that he's referring to, and not for the first time
but
in
like we are
program,
saying, was
the friendly fire fear.
This isolated
the fear
areas
of Nigerians, possibly, God forbid, perishing as a result of friendly fire.
If there are no internal collaboration.
But what we should also understand the terrain of that area. Those places are not like Lagos. Like if you look at Maiduguri, it's like a desert place.
Yeah.
Some of these bush are isolated.
Okay.
It's not close to
and
the
I think
citizen.
you made the point that anybody who is in there,
you almost
has himself to blame.
Yes. So for 18 months, and you have had, that means you should be investigated. You can't be a bunker and you have something to do in the axis where all these meetings have been conducted in Ikorodu. You must have something to do with them as close as that axis are to the town. Not to talk of my Niger State is bigger than the whole of the southeast.
All right.
Niger State. Okay. So if you have that large expanse of land, Maiduguri is like the distance between the Sambisa forest. It's like the distance between here to Sokoto. Okay. That's Sambisa forest. So the military will have an opportunity to be able to locate the exact spot that they are.
Exactly. Yeah. Mr. Joe in Festac. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Mr. Yori, I like what you're doing. I want to thank you all for what you're doing there.
You're too kind, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. But at the same time, I want you to know that what you are hearing here is all over the world. We are hearing. People are listening to you in Germany, even in Turkey. Turkey, where we have been alleged that the Turkey, they are even supplying the Boko Haram with ammunition, and your federal government is aware. You are telling me that you'll be discussing this as if it is an important issue. What you are discussing here?
It is important.
Yes, it is important. But what you are discussing here Even your enemies are they are viewing what you're airing here.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. But
So
the presidency put the information out, and somebody else has objected that what is it political pressure? Why are we speaking about what we want to do?
Listen to me, Yori. Even that statement, can you play out the tape or the video tape where the president made that pronouncement, or is it just a propaganda from the secretaries of the federal government?
No, they don't do propaganda like that. I mean,
sorry,
sir. The presidential spokesman, the presidential spokesman Garba Shehu, in briefing the nation.
What I'm trying to argue here,
yes.
People might just say the president say go and bombard, go and airstrike will happen here.
No. Sir, we're not talking about bombardment. We're talking about air support. As you know. We have
support.
As you know, we have an ongoing situation in the northeast.
People now they are listening to you. Okay, they are now waiting for you to bring your air support. Yori, I'm not comfortable with all these discussions at all.
All right.
I'm not comfortable.
All right.
Exposing the tactics of our military.
If you want to do anything, keep it within yourselves. Let the military know what they are going to do. They know their strategy. They know what to do at the same time. We're telling the whole world that we are coming to hit you. We are coming to fight you. We are coming with the air support. The military will go underground. The air force will go up, and we will be. But I don't think it's really for me. It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Okay, sir. And I thank you very much for your call and your observation. And as a matter of fact, to be fair, you're not the first person to have made this particular point. In fact, somebody had, but you see, they know of the right to know, and we can't make this stuff up. And when they tell us that by way of progress reports on what's going on, they didn't tell us everything. I don't for one moment imagine that they told us everything. It's based on the need to know. And if they didn't think there was a need to know, they wouldn't have told us. And if they have told us, they've put it in the public domain, and we're talking about it. But I fully appreciate what you've just said, sir, and you're not the first person to have said so this morning. Other people have also said they are uncomfortable with the fact that, this part of our strategy has been known already. To which Comrade responded that maybe the whole thing is a
part of their strategy to draw them out.
It's a whole strategy
to draw them out.
I don't know. We don't know.
Well, these are legitimate fears, and in the past, you also know that it has happened where there was foreign support that they want to go and gas Boko Haram members, and when they got there, they saw that they were using masks already. Which means
the information has reached them. Mr. Maduka in the UK, good morning, sir. That's a military man, I believe.
Good morning, Chief Yori.
Good morning, sir. You're a former military man.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm enjoying what you people are discussing this morning. However, I just feel a little bit concerned. And my concern is this. If I remember some few years ago, before this administration came in, American government stopped sharing
intelligence or
intelligent information with Nigeria for one reason. Some few days or weeks after the Chibok girls were taken, American intelligence spotted those children where they were, and they shared that with our Nigerian army. The then chief of the defense staff of army staff, and I'm not too sure again, went on air to tell the whole Nigerian that now we know where the girls are. And that made America to stop sharing intelligence with Nigerian army. I don't know whether they have resumed again. Nigerian Air Force have been there all this while. They do the bit they were doing, we know that. But for the head of government, by whatever means, to go on air to tell Nigerians that Nigerian Air Force are now going to do what they are trained to do, it's a little bit sad to me.
Okay.
If we remember that Osama bin Laden was taken, 5 previous attempts were made on him But because of America sharing intelligence with their allies,
Pakistan.
because I remember American president apologized to UK
Yeah.
after that exercise. Even Obama, because the action required a presidential order. But before the military started seeking that order from Obama, those 2 aircrafts were already on top of that building. And he was simply told that they have reached a point of no return. So
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate
So
I appreciate you, and I thank you for the valuable information you've just given us and your insight, your impressions. But we've completely run out of time, and it's interesting that people are looking at it from this point of view. You know, so it is what it is. We have this information because they put it out. They don't put out, I don't know, they don't put out information unless they feel that there is a need to know. But the point is made that sometimes the matter would have gone very far before they even let people know that this particular operation is in progress. And so why are we...
They might have gone far.
Yeah.
They very well might have gone far. But
and secondly, the impact of airstrike is so damaging that they need a public approval.
And I want to thank you. We've completely run out of time by now. And thank you very much, Comrade Razak Olokoba.
It's a pleasure.
And also thank you very much, sir, Bishop Sunday Garba Yaji. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your insights. And it's always a pleasure to hear from home there. I always refer to you as the third guest. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.